Greetings, friends. Someone gave me this pamphlet. Every person is entitled to certain rights, blah, 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 simply because they're human. They are rights because they are things you are allowed to be, to do, or to have. These rights are there for your protection against people who might want to harm or hurt you. They are also there to help us get along with each other and live in peace. Why is living peace the correct thing to do? What are they basing these morals on? How can they justify the need to be protected from predators? That's what I want to know. They don't have any. They don't have any justification. And then it talks about Universal Declaration of Human Rights, created by the United Nations in 1948. Well, that's wonderful. Should we trust the United Nations? So, but anyways, and then the rest of it is just these short little sentences, not too much, just with these images, and I found it kind of goofy. Like look at these. Like, who designed this thing? We are all born free and equal. We are all born free. We all have our own thoughts and ideas. Well, some people don't have many thoughts or ideas. We should all be treated in the same way. No, that's dumb. How do you go from having your own thoughts and ideas, which is individualist, and then in the next sentence you say we should all be treated in the same way? That's going against the grain of what was in the previous sentence. Oh, well, you're this individual, free-thinking, and then we should all be treated in the same way. What? Okay, 2, don't discriminate. This kid is, yikes. He's in trouble. His parents are telling him, don't discriminate, little boy. And whatever school he ends up, I just hope it turns out alright for him. These rights belong to everybody, whatever our differences. Yeah, right. Whatever, buddy. I mean, no one wants negative discrimination. But aren't you just tired of all this stupid Marxist language? Don't discriminate. What does discriminate even mean? It just means, like, you have a certain behavior or preference. Like, there's different cultural groups, different races, different ages. Like, I mean, discrimination is a natural, healthy process to a certain degree. I suppose you can take it in an unfair direction with how you have a demeaning attitude towards other people, but by making this word discriminate, giving it the power they have, it has a very corrosive effect on our culture, and I don't like it. No slavery. Nobody has any right to make us a slave. We cannot make anyone our slave. No torture. Nobody has, so it's like, man, bad things are happening in the world. Bad things. This happened, this bad. Look at this one, number 6. You have rights no matter where you go. Yo, this is threatening. This is straight up threatening. The language is threatening, and then what is going on here? Whoa, buddy, who put together this thing? What are human rights? Yo, you know what this is? Translation. You have rights no matter where you go. It's like, if we show up at your neighborhood, open your gates. Open your gates. Give us your goodies. I am a person just like you. Yeah, open your gates, because they're just people just like you. You gentrifier, you snob. Number 7, we're all equal before the law. Yeah, isn't that nice? The law is the same for everyone. It must treat us all fairly. This is so dumb. Like, what? What is the audience here? Who is the audience? Is the audience children? But then many adults today have the intelligence of children. Is this for a certain ethnicity? Or is this for immigrants? I'm not trying to say that immigrants are maybe less smart. I'm not trying to say anything too spicy in this video. I may already, I don't know. But I'm just trying to say, is the audience like, yeah, like you got to get this certain block, thinking more about their own rights, and then you can use them, you can weaponize them. And you feed all this sense that they're being treated unjustly. Like, what is the overall feel of this pamphlet? It's negative. It's like the world is just, like, I mean, I guess the world is pretty messed up. I will agree. But they don't offer you any way out. It's just, it's not logical. There's no moral foundation here for why. They have no claim to complain about these things, because they have no real worldview that makes any sense. Like, what are they basing all of this on? Your human rights are protected by law. Human rights are already abstract. We can all ask for the law to help us when we're not treated fairly. You know, treat us fairly. No unfair detainment. Well, yeah, obviously no one wants. It's like, what are you going to say next? Like, no one should get a fender bender? Or like, criminals shouldn't steal things? Is that what you're going to say next? Nothing should be stolen? The right to trial. Look at this dude. I just think I'll give you a fair trial. We're always innocent till proven guilty. What are they trying to say with this image? What is going on here? I don't like the racial dynamics of these images. It's kind of a little weird. Nobody should be blamed for doing something until it is proven. So this is loosely based on European legal traditions, or the right to privacy, or privacy, however you say that. I would say that word privacy. But privacy. Nobody should try to harm our good name. Nobody has the right to come into our home, open our letters. Who wrote this thing? Open our letters? You mean, or bother us or our family without a good reason. Without a good reason! So then you don't really believe in the right to privacy. Because if you had a good reason, who gets to define what a good reason is? If you had a good reason, then you don't have the right to privacy anymore. There's their worldview. It makes a lot of sense. Freedom to move. We all have the right to go where we want in our own country and to travel as we wish. Now, this is something I could get behind, because it's something we can relate to in Canada, where they try to shut down interprovincial travel. So this is something, I mean, yeah, individual things here you can get behind, but you know, the overall thing is just ridiculous. The right to seek a safe place to live. Well, then that's what happens with so-called refugees or economic migrants. They claim this, they use this idea, this United Nations stuff, to permanently settle in a Western country. And you can't even argue that, well, I guess by human rights definitions, they do, you know, if we are frightened of being badly treated in our own country, we all have the right to run away to another country to be safe. That sounds so childish. We run away to be safe, to find a safe space. Now, granted, there are refugees in the world. We should take that into account. Like my friend Sin was one of the Vietnamese boat people coming from Saigon to Singapore and then getting on a plane to Edmonton and then spending the rest of his life so far in Canada. But I mean, his situation was a little more different than what happens with most people are economic migrants or following family these days, not under threat of war. That's not what's going on for the vast majority of immigrants here. So this is, but But this is what is used. The right to your own things. Everyone has the right to own things or share them. Nobody should take our things from us without a good reason. Well, yeah. Dumb. What you're missing is an admission that violence is necessary. The license to use deadly force is going to be necessary at some point. You're going to have to admit that. But these people never admit that. Their whole language is sort of distorted and like from the position of a schizophrenic, mentally handicapped man-child. The right to democracy, no thanks. No thanks on the democracy, no thanks. Social Security, workers' rights. It just every page here is like, make the world fair. The world needs to be fair. Food and shelter for all, the right to play. Why? Why do you deserve the right to play? Why? I don't care if you can't tell me. You don't deserve the right to play. You have no idea why you should have the right to play. A fair and free world. What is that? That's not even anything. That has never existed. Responsibility. We have a duty to other people, and we should protect their rights and freedoms. Well, that just goes against a lot of what you've been saying in the previous parts of this. Because if all these people have to accommodate your rights, accommodate this long list of every possible way you could undermine a people, if they have to accommodate that, well then guess what? You're not gonna protect their rights and freedoms if it's this other group that you are being weaponized and used as a column to undermine. Responsibility. They just threw this in there because they wanted to fill some space. Number 30, no one can take away your human rights. This is ridiculous. Hey, look, they were saying that here in 539 BC, Cyrus the Great, after conquering the city of Babylon, did something unexpected. He freed all slaves to return home. So you really think human rights started back then, eh? I doubt that. I doubt that. I think the ancient world was pretty brutal, and maybe Cyrus the Great had a pragmatic reason for doing that. So, I'm not convinced. Look at this. Wow, look at this. See, we got all these wonderful people on our side. See? People of the civilized, people of the modern world, see? We got these wonderful people on our side. See? Nelson Mandela. I actually went to see Nelson Mandela when I was in the 6th grade in middle school. Like I wrote an essay in the small middle school where I went, and they liked my response the best, so I got to go to the Sky Dome where he was speaking, and I do remember that. It's totally being brainwashed that this guy is a hero. And I mean, he is a hero, YouTube. He's a total hero. At least it depends on. But anyways, I don't want to say anything too much. We got these wonderful men here. Like, all I'm going to say is that these guys were really on our side. And if they were around today, we could count on them to be like, yeah, we're gonna help preserve your, like, these guys around today. I don't know, but what's that? Who's that? Is that? Oh, it's Thomas Jefferson. Oh, wonderful. Well, Thomas Jefferson, I don't know how he would have gotten along too well with these other two guys, yeah, three guys. And then Voltaire. Oh, wonderful. Voltaire. My sarcasm aside, he was a huge atheist, so yeah, atheist, and then kind of libertarian prototype Thomas Jefferson, Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Martin Luther King, who these last three share in common that they all helped to lead an effort against the previous order, which was, if anything, dominated, well, in one case by the British, in the other case by the South African elite or dominant ethnic group at the time, and then the American conservative white majority in MLK's case. In all of these three cases, undermining. But then they threw in these two white guys here, these two more or less Enlightenment products of the liberalism that we are totally ensconced in now. That we can thank these two guys for. Actually, this book here, I did a review on this a few years ago. It's by Voltaire. And he's basically mocking religion in a lot of this book. It's about Candide or optimism. So anyways, it's interesting that these are the famous people they like to draw, they like to look back on. And I think I'm going to leave it off there. Hasta luego, amigos!